Stat padding.
Thank you, everybody, for coming to March 9th council session. Is this thing on? My mic's red, but I don't hear myself.
Right now.
Thanks, everybody, for coming to the March 9th council session. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's get right after the public forum. I got a couple people who have signed up to speak. Is there anybody who signed up to speak that didn't give their form to Caitlin? No? Okay. All right. First up, Bjorn Dawson. Did I say that right?
Dalen.
Dalen?
Yep.
Sorry, it looks like an S. Apologize.
I get told all kinds of stuff.
Yep, so my name's Bjorn Dahlin. I'm the editor-in-chief of Oregon Aviation News and a 30-year user of the Creswell Airport. And my address for the business is 541 South Macadam Avenue, Portland, Oregon. Do you have a timer?
Yep, let's go.
So I'm here tonight to address what I feel is severe crisis of authority and apparent financial cover-up. Under Section 6 of the Creswell City Charter, all substantive powers, including the policy and financial decision to engage in civil litigation, are vested with the City Council. The City Manager doesn't have the unilateral authority to wage an aggressive legal war against airport tenants. And because the City is actively litigating an $800,000 lawsuit with an airport tenant without a public vote on the record, we're likely in one of two illegal scenarios. Either scenario A, this council authorized the litigation during a secret executive session, violating Oregon public meeting law, or the council never voted at all, meaning the administration violated the Section 6 of the Charter and is spending taxpayer money without authorization. So because this litigation is unauthorized, it's not budgeted. And because it's not budgeted, the administration seems to be hiding the receipts. If you look at Exhibit A in the packet that you have, you'll see that under materials and services, the general fund category, which is a roll-up used as a cover-up, has nearly $30,000 in Montoya law payments over the last 3 months. Those were dumped into the general fund administration account. We asked for comment from the city manager and the finance director, and we got no comment. So failing to properly account for these invoices as airport legal services, including the one you see tonight for $12,000 nearly, the administration is bypassing your oversight. So you're already aware of this because you've received emails about it and we requested comment. We haven't received any comment. So here are 3 critical questions we'd like you to answer tonight, even though you probably won't. You can ask them of yourself. Will the mayor and the city council state for the record whether you authorize the current Meadowbrook Investments litigation in an executive session or if the city manager acted unilaterally? There's no record of a public vote. We deserve to know who exactly is dragging taxpayers into this obscure legal battle. And I'm sure you understand. We also look for explicit transfer transparency. Will you commit that every dollar transferred from the general fund to the airport fund explicitly states the specific line item account that it'll be used for? No more hiding behind materials and services or to backfill the illegally incurred legal fees for fuel. Thanks.
Thank you. Got it. All right, thank you. Miss Debbie Yee, would you come on down, please?
My name's Debbie Yee. I live in Creswell, and I would like to speak about the South Lane Fire District, which is not my area of expertise at all, but in the last several weeks, I've just had some happenstance meetings and meeting people in the public and talking about what sort of financial and, more importantly, firemen shortages that they have within our own fire district. And I learned some alarming things. A couple months ago, had an instance where I needed to have help, my husband and I, to lift my mom. She had fallen after church. We couldn't help her up and we couldn't help her down, so we had to call non-emergency. They came right away only because they actually had a captain and another fireman here on duty. Anytime, pretty much night or day, they only have 2 firefighters here and they cover also for EMT work. So if they go out on an EMT work for a homeless person, that maybe more than once they've revived someone, they can't help your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, or a car accident on I-5 because they can't leave. Once they get called out, they can't leave till they finished it. If it's a fire, they gave a couple examples of fires that have happened in Creswell and Cottage Grove recently where only one person drove the truck out of Creswell to get to a fire and spent 15 minutes by themselves at a fire. They were able to save it, but they have an instance in Cottage Grove within a couple week time frame also. It was a total loss because only 4 people showed up, which would have been maybe 10 or more firefighters to save that house. We are in dire straits, and November of 2024, we had the opportunity, I'll say opportunity, but I voted no. I will admit what I voted. It's the first time ever in my voting years that I voted no on a levy. I got tired of it, no more. COVID had happened, lots of different reasons, but it was like, no more, make do with what you have. The problem is, because of that, we are now in a spiral of not being able to hire more people, not being able to compete with other fire districts. I think we're in dire straits, and if they're putting it back on the levy for May, I just want to call it to everyone's attention because Creswell, Cottage Grove, out here we have a fire station out in Creswell that's unmanned. It's only vehicles that are out there right now. We don't have modern equipment. We have, I think a couple months ago or in the last couple months, I think the mayor or one of the councilors mentioned that when we built that hotel across the freeway, we were supposed to commit to and or be getting a ladder. We don't. There's one ladder, comes out of Cottage Grove. If anything ever happens, how bad are people going to feel in some of the apartments and some of the other places? They're going to, if they bring Everyone Village, if they need help or assistance from after 9 to 5 when they're not manned anymore and we have to use our resources for that, someone somewhere has to give. We've got to put more resources into it because we are in dire needs. And I just want to bring that to everyone's attention because it's coming. I would encourage everyone to look into it. It wasn't presented as well as it could have been last time, but yes, it's going to mean more money. Do I want to pay it? No, but I don't want my mom or your mom or anyone else to suffer in a life-threatening instance. I just don't.
Thanks, Debbie. All right. We'll move on to the mayor's report, and all the councilors and everybody get to see the agenda. So we saw the letter from Kotek to me and saw the letter from Brownsville Mayor that I endorsed. Transparency. Okay, great. I also want to recognize the girls' basketball team got 5th in state. The boys got 4th in state. The cheerleading team got 2nd in state. I mean, Creswell's kicking some hind end right now, so good job, kids. Proud of you. I know you're not here, but so correspondence, we didn't have any, so we'll go to the consent calendar. All items are considered routine and enacted by one motion unless pulled for correction. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes. Anybody got any issues with minutes?
I already passed those on.
Okay, so I'm entertaining a motion. Councilor Kidd?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as currently exist.
Councilor Duke seconded it. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. All right, we'll move on to City Manager Vincent.
Thank you. You have the administrative report packet, and as we typically do, we start with the finance report. Tonight, Jim will answer questions. We couldn't get together and play clairvoyant and try to predict what you guys would ask. So if you have questions, I'll ask Jim to come up and respond to those.
Councilors? Councilor Holt?
What is $50,000 to Romtech?
Oh, very good. That is a progress payment for our bathrooms that are going to be installed at Second Street Park, Robert Hughes Park.
I thought that we got a grant for that.
We do. We have to expend it, and then we get a reimbursement back
Okay.
from the granting agent.
Okay, that's good to know, because that's a
Yeah.
lot.
And wasn't that around 350,000, right, for the total bathroom expenditure, if I recall?
I don't have it right in front of me, but I mean, you're in the ballpark. You know, it's at least a couple. It's Cliff here. Oh,
183.
283. Angela applied for that
Thank
grant, so
Good
thank
job,
you,
Angela.
Angela.
Thank you for getting that too.
Want me to just keep going?
Yeah, go for it.
Century West Engineering, $61,442.
That's for the airport master plan.
Okay, this one, Lane County Department of Finance, a whole bunch of money. Why?
I'm glad you asked that one.
So am I.
You know, they say that crime pays, but it doesn't. This is our court fines that we have to get back to Lane County. And if you look down below, there's also a check going to Oregon Department of Revenue. So for every fine that we take into court, the county gets a portion, the state gets a portion.
So these are from fines that we've taken in, and this is their portion that they get.
Correct.
Their cut.
$160,000 or $156,000. How long?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was on the right page. I was on the page with Lane County Finance for $2,700 and Oregon Department of Revenue for
Okay.
$1,565. I'm sorry,
I'm
Councilor.
back at the $156,000 one.
Okay, that one is our quarterly payment for the sheriff.
Oh, I should have known. Okay. Sorry. And then what about Trojan Technologies, $53,000? That's on the same page as the,
It's a few down.
yeah, it's a little bit down from the Lane County one I just talked about.
I'm sorry, which one's Trojan Technologies?
Yeah.
So those are modules for the water plant. We can actually replace those as they wear out. We had them budgeted at $55,000 for the fiscal year. Cliff isn't here tonight, but he could speak to them. That's one thing about our water plant is modular, so as things wear out, they can be replaced.
And my last one, Taco Bell, irrigation, what?
Yeah, we had to refund them, so since they got hooked up, they were getting a sewer charge, and they're over on the east side where the private sewer is. So
Okay.
they were gracious, and they said, yeah, just send us the money back.
Okay,
So,
fair.
that won't happen
Okay,
again.
I thought that was weird, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Me too.
She hit all the highlights.
Yeah, she did.
Sorry, did I steal your thunder?
That's okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Lane County Sheriff's Report. Here comes Alex.
All right. Good evening, everyone. We've made it to March.
Spring break.
Yeah, spring break's coming up. For some people, I don't know. So if you take a look at the calls for service, we're staying in our normal range of things. I do have a couple quick notes. So we had, it's called Crisis Intervention Team Training within the last couple weeks. Not last week, but the week before. 3 out of 4 of our deputies attended that. It's a 40-hour course on mental health and alternatives to incarceration, stuff like that, to assist our deputies out in the field in making the best decision with people that are in crisis. 3 out of our 4 deputies attended that. The 4th deputy has already attended that. And I spent a portion of my week instructing that because I'm one of the instructors. So that was a pretty cool thing. So 4 out of 4 of our deputies have had this super special like mental health based training that will help us as we go and contact people. If you look at our calls for service, you'll see that it's pretty standard across the board for what we're used to seeing. My guys are working super hard and they're doing a super good job. I honestly can't say enough good things about them right now. They're solving cases that we thought would never be solved, and they're really putting in good work. Getting people's stolen items back, holding people accountable for crimes that they commit against people. They're doing a fantastic job, so they get all the credit. But I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have about anything that has happened in the last month.
I got a quick one. I shout out to you guys, something personal happened to me in where I live, and Courtney Dills figured it out and handled it. I don't know about the rest of you, if you all had a hand in it, I just want to say thank you, but Courtney handled it pretty quickly and efficiently and got it done, so thank you, thank the team. Obviously, you guys are doing good work, because that didn't take but a couple days, and you guys are already had it taken care of.
And that was kind of a cool resolution, because the person involved was somebody we never contacted before, and it was a matter of, hey, does anybody know who this guy is? And one of my nighttime guys is like, yeah, I know who that is, I've talked to him before, it's this guy. And then Dills was able to follow up on that. And there's some intricacies in that case, but yeah, he did a fantastic job on that, and that's one of the ones I'm super proud of. Like, they just did such a good job, so.
I thought it was fair with the result and the outcome, and the adjudication of it, I thought was pretty fair, so thank you guys, I appreciate it. Councilors, anything else? Councilor Holt?
I think about a week ago, we kind of made the news with an incident on my street.
My street too.
Oh, yes, fair, good point. And there's still problems there. And I'm wondering if you can tell me what the status is of that situation, or if you can't, that's fine too.
It depends on which piece of that you're looking for information on. I can provide you information about the case that resulted in the arrest.
Is the person that was arrested still in jail?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Yes.
Thank you.
And it's a unique situation, but she is facing trial for some pretty serious offenses that
I would imagine.
Hopefully will get her some, whatever the help is that she needs, hopefully she will get.
Okay.
That's the nicest way I can say it.
Thank you.
Councilor Grimmer?
Just a quick question. Can you elaborate on Measure 11s?
Yes. So one of those was a unfounded Measure 11. We still took a report on. It had to do with computer content that ended up being unfounded, which was awesome. Love when we don't have that. The other one was a disclosure made by a victim of a domestic violence incident that went into the Measure 11 world. I'll let you guys kind of fill in the blanks on that, but that one is still being worked on by our detective division, is following up on that as well. So we started the initial on that, but we want to rope them in, and so they're working on that.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilor Garcia?
Just real quick, Sergeant, I just want to say, just keep up the good work that you and you guys do for the city of Creswell. That's it.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Councilor Holt?
I just wanted to say I noticed somebody pulled over across the bridge there the other day, and I just wanted to say thank you for getting on top of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is something I forgot to mention. So once I find the right spot on that side, I have already received approval to bring our speed trailer down for at least a couple weeks. I just need to figure out which property, who owns it, make that connection, make sure it's a good spot for the trailer, that type of thing. But we will hopefully be putting the speed trailer up there here in the near future once I can figure all that out, so.
I can help with property.
All right, well, maybe we can chat.
Yeah. Anyone else? All right. Again, thank you, sir, and thank the team.
Thank you.
Appreciate you keeping us safe.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is the city attorney report. You have that report in front of you. Our city attorney accrued 13 hours of time in February, and he's done his typical reaccounting of the different areas that he worked on. If there's any questions, I will see if I can answer them. Yes, Councilor Holt.
I'm just curious what some of this is, like, worked on options for the city to consider in adjusting condition use standards. What is that even about?
Which one, can you tell me?
That would be like under planning. What is condition use standards?
So a conditional use will come before the planning commission where there's a set of criteria that they can approve the use with conditions, and they would set those. I don't know the specificity of this, maybe Fabian does, but typically the way that I'm reading that is that there was a call to see what it would take to maybe adjust some of that criteria or some of those conditions. And Fabian, can you add to that?
Well, and Does that go with the line item above that as well? Because I'm curious to know what this is about.
So the ones that I think you're pointing to, our city attorney worked with, Kurt is preparing a land use public hearing and evaluating next steps after the hearing.
I'm curious to know what that's about.
Okay. I think that is for the US market, maybe?
Yes, that would be correct.
Okay. So there was, before the planning commission, there was an application entitled US Market, and that was for a gas station with, I believe, a drive-through. That was denied by the planning commission. So after that denial, there was a lot of questions as to what could be the next steps, what took place in this conditional use. So the applicant had two choices: to appeal it to the city council, and if it was appealed, what would staff's position be and how would that all work out? There was also a question as to the findings that were made by the planning commission. Internally, we reviewed that and we had some questions how they went about making findings. The other option for them was to resubmit the application, addressing some of the concerns. The overarching concern was the traffic impact analysis that was submitted. DOT questioned some of the numbers. DOT, I guess, wanted more information on the numbers. If I'm not characterizing that right, let me know. But they weren't supportive of the numbers in the traffic impact analysis. And that was one of the findings that the Planning Commission made. So the applicant since then has decided to resubmit, addressing the things that were brought up with some of the concerns from the Planning Commission. So I think a lot of the things that you're seeing under the planning was planning, working out with our city attorney, just the legality of that, the mechanisms for that, the issue of the findings, what does that look like, in that context of the application.
So it sounds like we're bringing another gas station to Creswell?
The application was for a gas station. I think it had a convenience store to it with a drive-through.
By the two other gas stations that we have already?
This one was located to the east of McDonald's, in between McDonald's and...
So you'd have to literally drive by AM/PM to get to it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Fabian.
Way to state the obvious.
Well, at a certain point, my depth of knowledge goes. So that's why I need staff to bail me out.
That was very timing.
Any other questions?
No. Thank you. I know I have a better understanding now. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, so then next up is the code enforcement report. And again, it's the newer format. I will stop referencing it probably this month, but you have a spreadsheet of cases that were open, cases that were closed, and some of the photos of the more egregious offenses that are out there. If there's any questions, we will look to entertain them. Yes, Councilor Kramer.
So this case 443, this car got moved into the driveway, but now it's obstructing a sidewalk. So,
So you're saying case 443?
443, yes.
Oh, okay. Pierre?
Yeah. I would say it's not completely obstructing the sidewalk, but we were in a better position where we're at. Individuals there were elderly and had to move it during the weekend, so I think it's maybe a really bad angle as well. It looks a lot worse than it is when you're there head on.
It's obstructing someone walking down there, from my take of it. I
Okay.
mean, I live right down the road from it, so I see it, and if somebody has to go around it, it's obstructing.
Mhm.
So that's my take on that. And,
It's handicapped.
yeah, I just wanna make sure, like, we're taking care of they're in our rules,
Right.
you know, so we need to enforce these. And, like I said, kids have to be able to play down there, it's just like taking care of your sidewalk. You can't have a big mess there. And I just feel that car, the back end part to it that's on the sidewalk is obstructing it. So,
Pierre, is there a way we can revisit this?
Yeah.
Maybe go back out there
Yeah.
and speak with the owner?
Yeah, the owner was, kind enough to call me and talk to me, communicate well with me, so I can reach
Okay.
back out to him and have it moved a little bit.
Thank you. If you could do that, to express the concerns of Councilor Kramer and other councilors. Thanks. Councilor Holt?
Case number 424, it's nuisances affecting public health, and it just looks like a bunch of junk around somebody's property. Is that literally what that's about?
There was many pictures to pick from. This one's a particular one. Is there a date on that one? I can't remember. Is that the picture in the,
8,
is that the one that was the picture provided though, in the packet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so that one's a unique situation, kind of stemmed from many complaints from neighbors before I even started diving into it. And so there's, a lot of junk and a lot of trash, and that's a very small portion of it. And that's one of our open cases that I've been working on for a few
Okay.
months. So that is a portion. Junk in our code is defined as, refrigerators, appliances, old machine parts versus kind of trash, where you're thinking like a trash bag,
Sure.
wrappers and whatnot. So there's all of that there, and we're addressing it. Just recently I spoke to the owners of that lot and pointed out all the expectations that we have, and then I'll revisit it on the 23rd, I want to say. But if it's not corrected, it's going to fall into our derelict property situation, which would involve abatement, and could be pretty major. So this, I'm glad you brought it up, because this could be revisited later on if it's not cleaned up.
Yeah, and the reason I ask is because I've seen a lot of properties like this that have never been addressed. So is it the city's standard to wait for people to complain, or are we out looking for this stuff?
Yeah, just let me jump in. So a lot of it is complaint driven. With one officer, we just don't have the time to basically go around the city all the time. Pierre does know that if he's out and he sees something, he's empowered to act on that if it's a code violation. So it'll either be complaint driven or it'll be through his own experience.
I'm happy seeing something done about this one. I just was curious about that because, and then I have one more question.
Yeah.
Not about any of the things here, just a general question. Does this apply to like doing, these same rules apply to like doing, tearing cars apart on your lawn?
They could fall under a different code, but it could very well be this one. I would probably try to find a better code that addresses maybe if you're tearing your car apart or doing repairs that maybe, and if you have more than one car, maybe it's a zoning issue that you're, running a business or a shop. And so I will say, kind of circling back, and I hope that answers your question for that.
Yeah.
I will say, circling back to the Morris situation, it's this, I've been working on this case kind of since I started. First case that I took on, but it's been a lot of work working with the building official, fire marshal, and trying to work with them and getting them to go out to the site and actually visit it, and working with the homeowner as well. So I will say that in general, kind of addressing the, being proactive versus reactive, I will tell people that it means a lot more when they are, I hate to say the word complaining, but when they're bringing these issues to attention. It's one thing for me to go out and nitpick things, it's another thing when people tell me that they agree with me. And so there's more power to it. So I do tell people as much as they can, let me know, because then I can look further into it. Even if you're wrong, I'll tell you that you're wrong.
I think part of the issue with that is that we live in this very retaliatory kind of environment in our culture now. And so people are afraid to speak up about things.
Yeah.
I've had some issues that I've refused to report to the city because they won't let me do so anonymously. Yeah, and so I imagine I'm not the only person that feels that way, and so, but I understand what you're saying. You're doing a great job, by the way, thank you. I just was curious, because I haven't seen this one before, but I've seen it out there, but I haven't seen it really come up for us.
Is this case, this looks familiar to me, this is one of Chelsea's hard-nosed cases that she had before she left, I assume, this property?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, this property looks familiar, so.
Does it? I don't remember. I believe you.
Yep.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
This is
complaints,
one of those-
there's been a lot of people that have told me I'm complaining, and I have 6 other people that I know that are just worried about complaining for that exact reason.
It's
That's
true.
what I'm
If
saying.
I recall, Chelsea had a really hard time to try and get traction with
Mm-hmm.
our lawyer, city lawyer, to help out with that, so thanks for
Thank you.
taking that battle on, because that wasn't easy on her. Anyone else? All right. Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Pierre.
Thank you.
Next up is a permit issued summary for the month of February. If there's no questions, I can move on to my update. So, FEMA floodplain update. We have updated our website with a lot of the appeal information that was brought to our attention during a work session or a public forum. We've also reached out to City of Cottage Grove and their floodplain administrator, Lenny Crow, to talk about the appeal process that's still in place, and also the impact of the potential increase for flood insurance. So in our most recent utility bill, we sent out a flyer that really explained the appeal process, and also what we were told, that if a resident believes they're going to be included in the floodplain as part of FEMA's remapping, if they were to buy or get floodplain insurance now, flood insurance now, they would be grandfathered in at a cheaper cost. So we sent that information out. So we met with Lenny for about an hour, hour and a half. We are asking her to come to the April 27th work session so she could explain in greater detail the appeal process, what that looks like, the elevation certificates that a homeowner may need to get, and the impact on flood insurance, and how we as a city can get a larger discount. So the homeowner having flood insurance before it's enacted is one discount. Then we are assessed on a series of criteria or components, and we get a score for each of the ones. Education, outreach, things like that, we accrue points. The more points you get, the more of a discount that the people in your community can get. So right now, planning is working with Lenny to really see what we can either demonstrate that we already have in place, or what we can do before all of this comes to fruition, so we rack up as many points as we can, again, since those points translate to discount.
I'm really, really curious to know who we're talking about when we're talking about discounts. Discounts from who?
Discount for people that would be paying the flood insurance.
How are they getting discounts? From who is providing their insurance that is guaranteeing a grandfathered in rate?
I believe that would go through FEMA, and that's the piece that I've asked Lenny to really go over, because she knows it in a lot more detail.
This wouldn't be private insurance carriers offering grandfathered rates.
I think the program is set by FEMA. How that's applied, I don't know. That's what
I think we have to be very careful and make sure that we are very specific about who's offering grandfathering in, because just listening to you, I'm thinking, oh, all insurance carriers are going to have to do this, but that's not the case, and I know that.
Well, I'm reiterating what was told to us.
You know, I understand.
So that's why I want Lenny to come in
Okay.
and provide you that information firsthand.
Okay.
So, and again, she's scheduled for April 27th work session. Next up, Second Street neighborhood meeting. So we had about 10 people come out. I think it went really well from a standpoint of, we had the entire construction area laid out for the neighbors. We gave a general update, answered general questions, and then called the neighbors up one by one to answer their questions specifically. So at this point, it was left off that when we get the final construction schedule, we will post that and send that out via email to folks. And that if anyone has a question between now and when it starts, to reach out to me. So I think we're off to a much better start of the public outreach and the public communication. And again, all this was done so sometime during the summer, you don't get angry neighbors yelling that there wasn't any outreach by you guys or no one knew what was going on. So we're working to do a lessons learned from last time and make an adjustment.
I appreciate the adjustment. I'm not on Facebook, but I was told that it was on there, and there's pictures.
Yes.
I appreciate the effort.
Watched most of it, looked like a good meeting.
Thank you.
Yes, because we also did a live stream of it, took photographs of it, so it was, I think, well documented. One thing that's not on the agenda that came up late this afternoon that I just want to draw your attention to, Caitlin sent you guys out an email, I don't know if you may have had a chance to see it or not, requesting an executive session for next Monday if it works out. Some of the things we'll be talking about are the litigation piece. And it's a timely manner, that's why we're responding, or why we sent out the email, I guess late this afternoon. So just look for it, let Caitlin know your availability, and then we'll take it from there.
Thanks, sir. All right, we'll move on to the council action items and bring it on back to the city manager.
Okay, so on January 26th, at our work session, I went over the land swap and the previous with the fire district that we would give up our community center in exchange for where the fire station currently is, and the plan was to turn that into a parking lot. Since that agreement was made, I think it was 2020, a lot of the circumstances changed. The community center is more utilized, and the fire district really doesn't think a location here is as good as perhaps another location in Creswell. So after that work session, there was a consensus for me to bring back a resolution that formally dissolves the previous resolution. In your packet, you will see the fire district already passed their resolution, dissolving the resolution. This resolution, as a reminder, authorized the city manager and the fire chief to enter into an agreement to work out that land swap. That agreement was never made, so at this point, we just think dissolving the resolution is the best way to go. To have you formally act on that, and that way the file's closed.
Okay, so I'm entertaining a motion. Council Morris.
I move that the City Council approve Resolution 2026-02, a resolution repealing Resolution 2020-24, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a property swap with South Lane County Fire and Rescue.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilor Kent seconds the motion. Any further discussion? Questions for Vincent? I believe we talked about this a little bit at a work session, did we not? So
Yes.
we're all pretty familiar with it. Everybody good? All right. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. That will bring us to number 7, upcoming meetings. Please review the city calendar. Just hit the calendar button and look at the committee meetings and definitely the events that are happening. It's a good way to understand what's going on in Creswell. Thank you. We're adjourned.